Hi, my name is Emina Karamanovski Vance, and I have been working with Dr. Lam for 12 years and 23 years in hair restoration, from which I spent many years working closely with companies that did hair replacements. So because of my vast experience, I would like to share information regarding when someone can expect to get hair transplant, whether hair transplant can be combined with hair system, and also how someone can transition out of a hair system. However, I want to make sure at the very beginning of this video to clarify that we do not make hair systems here and we do not install hair systems. So this is not the company to look for hair system, but rather hair transplant surgery. There are two times where we can look at whether someone who wears hair system can receive hair transplant. In some instances, someone who started wearing hair system a long time ago never really checked whether can have a hair transplant. As long as the donor area is good, sometimes we can do hair transplant and eventually replace hair system for hair transplant. And the second category of people who are wearing hair pieces, hair transplant or hair replacements or hair pieces can receive hair transplant are those who don't have much donor hair, but as you see, this is Kevin and James, have hair piece or hair replacement, but don't have a temporal point. So for example, if you look at my hair, I have a temporal point. So natural hairline will have this temporal point, and so everything matches better and flows better. In someone who wears hair system, they cannot restore these temporal points with a hair system, and then hair transplant comes into place to add that. So if you're someone wearing hair system and wonders whether you can have hair transplant, you can think about coming for hair consultation and visit with us and see what we can do. For the hair consultation, the ideally would be to remove your hair system and come for hair consult. So you can schedule your service and around the consultation, combine service. When you go for hair service, combine hair consultation, and then they remove your hair system, you come for consultation, and then you go back to your stylist to put the new unit on. And so that would be a first step of transitioning out of the hair replacement. So the biggest part of this video is instructional in giving step by step to someone who knows that he is a good candidate for hair transplant and wants to have hair transplant and eventually transition out of hair replacement. So the first step will be to plan consultation. We can really evaluate your donor hair without your hair replacement. As I mentioned earlier, plan to do everything in the same day. The second step in transitioning is planning to switch from bonding, usually glue, to clips, because you will have to remove your hair replacement and wash your transplanted area daily for about 2 weeks. So the step number 2 is to plan on removing your hair system and changing the attachment to clips. And then you will have to remove it the day before the surgery, because we'll give you some special shampoo to wash your hair and prepare your hair and scalp for surgery. Then you will not be able to wear your hair system for about 4 to 7 days. After that, you can put the clips on. The clips will attach everywhere else but the hairline, so depending where we put the hairline, we'll teach you how to cut your frontal tape to half its width so it doesn't remove the grafts. So for additional 2 weeks, you will have to remove your system and wash your hair until all the scabs are gone and everything is healed properly. And then after 2 weeks, you will be able to reattach your system in your usual way, which is probably bonding and glue, and then keep a close eye when the hair starts growing back, which is about 3 months after the surgery. not to glue your system on the transplanted area, on the grafts. So the step number 1 would be removing your hair system for the consultation. Step number 2 is removing your hair system and changing attachment to clips, and then being off the system for 5 to 7 days, 4 to 7 days after, while you're healing after the surgery. Then wearing clips for about 2 weeks, and then after that you go to your regular attachment, and after 3 months you're monitoring closely when the new hairs are growing. It takes about 9 to 12 months for the full result. And let's say if your system was covering the entire top, we may be able to do a mega session and cover the entire top, or depending on your donor density, we may need another session. So some people can transition out of the hair system within 9 to 12 months. Some will look into 2 years to transition depending on the hair density. The less density, the more natural your system looked, the easier it is to transition. So I hope this video was instructional enough to tell you how to transition from hair replacement to hair transplant. Thank you.